Thanks for both explanations. If somebody has something to say, if not, I just go ahead and ask two small questions, one for each. It's more a bit more technical, not that much about the philosophical kind. First, for Jeff, when you explained this, that the top whale had a voting power bigger than the big that I mean, like 75% of the long tail of contributions or something. Um, do you mean in the token log weighted way or just absolute? Because if I understand right, we use token log to kind of weigh that and atone for that. Is it how was that meant?
Yes, so this is just absolute in terms of percentage of impact hours of the total percentage of the builder's pool. So this is the proportion that any individual took compared to the total builder's pool. So this is not accounting for quadratic voting. You're right. That does help to balance somewhat, but I'm not sure that it balances as much as we think it might intuitively. And I think this is the really valuable, massive value in this community is the work that Tam is doing and others, of course, in all of the data analysis. Sean, Octopus, praise. But understanding the sort of inputs and the outputs from these systems. And I know we can say, hey, it's not fair to continually. I just saw some of this debate in the SoftGov channel where some people are saying, hey, it's not really fair to analyze each vote and then say it's not fair after the fact. But I think it's really important to understand the different signals that we get and how they're optimized when we say have one person, one vote versus one token, one vote versus quadratic voting versus democonomy voting versus log voting. Quadratic is just one way to weight and balance. But actually, what I think we're seeing is that it's not balancing enough. There are still, a handful of whales who can shift the vote significantly in one direction. And I mean, we'll see when the XLS comes out. I haven't done as much number crunching as Tam and others. And of course, my math is always open to analysis. And Octopus, I want to call out. I really appreciate you clarifying some of the polynomial versus exponential distribution. I haven't had time to dig into that further, but I definitely intend to. And all of this, I would love to have second eyes on. A lot of this analysis is just me kind of hacking in a spreadsheet, the same spreadsheet that I posted in the early post. I'm not exactly sure, but I would love more eyes on this. And potentially some of this may be mistaken. I don't want to say that all of this is double checked and 1000% true. I'm just trying to understand how these kind of flows and weights and voting blocks and whatnot kind of pan out into solutions in various ways in the community. And I think this is a fantastic education opportunity for the whole TEC and understanding how these different tools can be used, what context they're appropriate, and what kind of outputs they give us and how they suit our community needs.
Thanks for the answer. My other question was for Griff, and again, it's just a bit of an object level stuff to know where to vote or what the vote will do. If this proposal wins and we get to the point that we are making a system to give extra governance power to the salaried workers in this case, that vote, that system would have to be approved by the DAO after the hatch. Is that right? So there would be a chance that it fails, and we have all the rage quit and whatever. So okay, so I understood that right.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
Just to comment on that, I think it's important to remember that only 10 to 25% of the governance rights are being distributed through impact hours. So it's not really as the builders community, I feel like we're overblowing the governance power that we actually will end up with, that we voted on for ourselves to end up with. So excluding the backers at this stage from governance decision wouldn't be fair to them, I would say. And I think it's important to be like, to remember, at least these are the parameters we chose, which is that minimum 75% of governance power will be distributed to the people who put money in. Again, that is also likely to have a power law distribution, as that seems to be the case for most like token sales. There's usually this like power law distribution. Not all, of course, and there were probably things that we could have done to mitigate that in advance, but at this point, and actually we did mitigate that because of the C-Stack score, so that will actually not be so bad. The membership ratio at 10 versus the membership ratio at 50, that would have changed things a lot. But I think it would be wrong to make any decisions about future governance until we have all the stakeholders at the table.
Okay, thanks for the answer. Sorry. Okay, does anybody else have some specific question they want to ask, or yeah, please feel free. I don't know if Christopher wants to say something. No? Yes? No? Okay.
No. Christopher just got called out and muted. Nice.
No, the plan was to unmute. Actually, I just arrived, so I'm good. Thanks for no comments from me.
Okay, but Jess wants to say something.
Yeah, I guess there's a couple of things. I don't want to get too off topic, but I guess I want to comment on Griff's proposal, something positive. I do think when it was flagged or suggested that some token engineering work was not recognized, that there was a massive effort, and you can see it reflected that some others' work was acknowledged in the space. So I just wanted to say that. I think there's a whole lot of discussion around the decision space, and that goes to what we're saying here, and that this is a huge learning opportunity. This is all really an experiment. I mean, we're one of the first communities. There's so many firsts here. And I think we had a great discussion. If you didn't have a chance to join SoftGov the other day, it's recorded on YouTube. We should share the direct link. But there was a lot of incredible discussion around the decision space. So what Jeff is discussing in one person, one vote versus token log and what the issue is. So I think we have a long way to go, not just as the Token Engineering Commons, but as an ecosystem and in the wider crypto space, into recognizing how important it is to look at the decisions we're trying to make and have more, forethought around not just what tool we use, but how the tool can actually have such a huge impact on the vote. So there's a workshop we did a couple of weeks ago on exploring polycentric governance, and there's a lot of cool research up and coming to continue to kind of like explore these ideas together to continue to improve these systems. So just a mention of that, if anybody didn't get a chance to participate, it's really good dialogue that's been happening in that realm. And we're at the forefront, like we're the tip of the spear here. And so I think keeping that in mind and having compassion, for each other and ourselves, in that we are pioneering in this space and we're up against so many challenges, and those challenges are multi-dimensional, along with all of our like super messed up and dysfunctional conditioning around money and everything else that we're trying to unravel and reprogram. The final thing I wanted to ask as a question, maybe as well, or 2 points. I think maybe also, in case people aren't aware of like kind of maybe what the rules are around this vote, how we see like this happening in the next, like what were the rules that we decided? And then maybe Griff also, I just had a chance to look at your proposal on the forum, so it might be worth as well mentioning that, or maybe we save that for when we get to the point of like, how's it going to go down from here and what do we do about it? But I thought it would be great for you to share some of that, because I thought that was a really fantastic proposal.
I really, really, really want to share that so bad. Nugget, can I get your permission?
Please do.
Oh, thank you so much. So maybe I'll share a screen. In case you guys haven't read it, I prefer the version in the forum because I did an edit of it, where I didn't really do an edit of the one in the Discord, because that's how chats work, right? But here, I think we're in a sticky situation, and there's a very polarized. We have a very polarized community, and I don't really like any of the options going forward. I don't feel like if any one proposal wins that we have like a really great situation. I don't even like what I'm going to propose that much, but I do think that we have to recognize where we are and take a step out of our egos, take a step out of like being right or being wrong and these false dichotomies of like, you know, there being different sides of things, and just like look at like what is best for the token engineering commons and putting that forward. And especially, you know, the cultural build. Like we had a focus, the common stacks focus in this in supporting in like partnering with the TEC to make this commons build. Our focus wasn't on the tech, our focus was on the culture, and we learned a lot, so that's exciting. And actually we're very lucky that Wonka had some forethought in the rules of this proposal, of what it takes to pass one of these token log proposals. We saw in advance that in a first past the post voting system, there is a good opportunity to create a polarized situation, and you see this all the time. You see it in politics where there's Democrats versus Republicans. I mean, look on Twitter. Look at this. It's gross. It's gross. No one is happy about that. And it doesn't have to be that way. We have an opportunity to do politics right. I know in an ideal world, there is no politics. We don't live in an ideal world. We are trying to make decisions as a community around things, and politics is how shared resources are governed, whether we like it or not. And I've accepted this, at least. And following the rules of the decision-making process is important. And let me read what a portion of what this rules were set out to be. There's a whole section that says, what if there is a polarized scenario? Ding, 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 right? You guys hear that? Sound of truth. There's a polarized scenario where two different proposals have an evenly split majority of the votes in the runoff. By evenly split, we consider a difference of less than 10 votes between first and second place. In this case, the top two authors will be invited into a hack session to merge their proposals together and commit to a collaborative result. I think that it was a mistake to define that so narrowly as 10 votes. I think the spirit of this proposal is to say that it's important that we don't end up with polarized results. We are one commons more than we are political beliefs. And this false dichotomy of right and wrong, Democrat, Republican, socialist or libertarian, or bad or good even. This is something that we need to like step out of and remember that we all want the same thing. We want to advance token engineering. That is why we are here. So how do we do that the best? And I think we follow the spirit of this idea. And Jeff and I have had a lot of differences. I'll just be straight. Like we don't always have the best situation. Like sometimes our relationship has a lot of challenges. But one thing that we've always said is that we love each other. We love each other like a family. And I would love to get in a room with Jeff and solve this, What I would propose to start is that we, and it's a starting conversation, and I think that could, just to show that like there could be something where everybody wins here, is that we recognize the votes is close, and we make sure the votes count.
Oh.
That's a lot of perspective.
I think Griff broke off.
Thank you, Discord, for the chance to compose myself.
Zero sounds like he wants to say something.
I really want to finish though, if I can. So I'm sorry. So what I'd propose is to find a way where this is an opportunity to prove that we are better than what politics has to offer in the current world. That we can find a win-win, the best win-win that we can, where everyone's vote mattered. And so I would propose that we actually, both solutions are applied, and as a starting point, but that we come together and we combine the proposals, as was stated in the rule set, and we find the best solution that we can. Now, no matter what happens, this will be an intervention, and half the community is against it. In fact, it might even, what I would say is it's not a majority of the community. No one proposal got a majority vote. Right now, it's looking like 40% voted for the top proposal, maybe 41%, right? It's not a majority, and that's not enough for us to move forward successfully, in my opinion. So, compromise. This is one of those really rare situations where splitting the baby in half can actually work. Like, how the hell? We can cut the baby in half and be better off. Let's do it, I'm sorry, I can be really persuasive and I get people riled. Please challenge my opinions, but I really think we can do this. And thinking about like how revolutionary this could be, how we could in the future point to this as a turning point for the token engineering commons and turn the biggest challenge this community has ever faced into the biggest success we've ever had, like a revolutionary opportunity. Sorry, I had to preface, like, I'm going wild, okay? Like, this is something the history books will seriously be able to look at and be like, these guys turned politics around. And I think compromise, whether it's what we want or not, is a value that we can uphold as a community. It is something that we can put on the top of our value list if we do this right. There is no good here. There is no right here. There's only the best. And I think the best solution forward is for us to throw our egos down and give ourselves a big fucking hug and like come together as a community and say, this is what we're doing with certainty. And I think that can be best done. And I love the opportunity to do it with Jeff, and really like, yeah. And I think it will solve a lot of other problems too, beyond just the impact hours. So I'm really proud of our community and being able to have this discussion. And I think that we'll be better off because of this process if we do it right.
Thanks a lot, Griff, for that. Jeff, do you want to use a chance to answer?
Yeah, absolutely. I've never heard of split the baby before. I was like, what is that? And looked it up. And yeah, that's a thing. And honestly, it seemed like I'm on this site right here, and it says, the split the baby final concession can indeed be an effective tool to bridge a small divide at the end of a nearly effective attempt to negotiate a mutually agreed resolution. And I agree that, although we found that we have two solutions that are polarized, I do think there is a compromise. I think there's always a compromise. And I would be more than happy to sit down with you, Griff, and run through, a lot of the thoughts on Praise Mageddon with you and see, because it's not perfect. Actually, what I put first in the proposal, those bucket weightings don't work out, and I've tried to change them and look at far better and far more appropriate for the community if we sat down and spoke about it together and put our heads together about it. And yeah, of course, I think it's also really important to value all of the work that has been done in the TEC. And I know this has been a really sensitive discussion, because the last thing I want to do is take anything away from anybody here. I definitely don't want to, undervalue or devalue any of the work that's been done. I think we are pioneering in almost every area at the same time, and that puts incredible pressure on a community like us, but ultimately I think this democratic process has been one of the best learning experiences, both for our tools and technology, and also for our democratic discussion abilities and ability to disagree and ability to compromise, and all of those things are keystone for everything that we're trying to build. So I'm definitely happy to split the baby and see how we can sort this out. And I don't want to hog all the airtime either. So if anyone else has anything to input or feedback, I would love to open the floor as well.
Yes, I think it's a good moment to open the floor and give everybody else also a chance to say what they think.
Is it possible to do a timer and just pass it like 30 seconds or something? I mean, go for it, YGG, and start. But let's get a lot of voices.
Yeah, good point, Griff. Is someone on the timer?
I get it.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Tim. Okay, so yeah, I just want to say, wow, good job, guys. I think this is like a sigh of relief for the whole community. I mean, the two top proposals, one was Praise-Mageddon with all fire, and the other one was aliens. So it was a clear, there was tension built into the community, I think, and this whole process, this decision process, enabled that to surface and release, and now we can come to an actual compromise solution. I actually didn't see this coming, but seems like the right way to go, absolutely. So congratulations to the community for coming to this kind of decision and for having the foresight to see this, what happens, how do we evade this polarization. The second thing I wanted to say is just to offer my support. I think this is a great way to go. I think we can merge these proposals, and like Jeff said, this whole process was pretty fast. This was just a few weeks. This was really rapid progression, and I think that's another, in terms of, there's decision space, there's also decision time. So I think we learned a lot about decision time on how ideas can evolve and unfold. And I really want to offer my support in combining these proposals. I have a really nice draft that is another issue that just didn't make it into the process given the process of these proposals. But I'm happy to come to the table and help merge and come to an ultimate solution that works for the community. Really excited for how this is going. And I'll pass it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Griff.
Please pass it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Please pass it, but Tam, you need to unmute if you're doing the timer so that everyone can hear.
Okay, I'll pass it over to ViViV.
This is an interesting prospect, and I like to say, this would be nice if we merge both of these proposals. Can I have a question that's slightly related to this topic, but not exactly? Or would a later later call be better for that question?
Of course, dude. Ask it.
I don't know if anyone's been following all the source code work that has been done by Livy and Santi and Matteo, but in future, are we maybe going to integrate it? And if we are, would having a system along with Praise, if we have both of these systems working together, we also have the objectivity of source grid and the subjectivity of the Praise system, and in some way we can combine both of these. Would that be something that might be considerable?
I think that's the plan, and maybe we'll pass it to Livia to say her comments and also address that.
Yeah, that is the plan. And we've been just thinking about ways to draft that proposal to the community and how to combine both of the systems, and what are some of the capabilities of the SourceCred DAO that we could implement some of the Praise results to it. So could we request a proposal for the TEC that the funds will go to the SourceCred DAO, and then this DAO could manage both praise and SourceCred together. So yeah, there's just a few ideas that are starting to be drafted, and I'm happy to chat with you, Barry, if you also want to collaborate, and we can start thinking of a proposal for the community.
I just wanted to throw in as well, there are a lot of communities that are experimenting with like variations on this. Like there's One Hive is also kind of running into a cred farming issue on SourceCred. So I think there's fantastic learnings from a lot of different ecosystems. And I do think that the best way to reward these kind of invisible labor, invisible contributions is a composition of, praise systems, SourceCred, maybe even Coordinate, if anyone's heard of that. There's a lot of kind of interesting tools that probably can be combined in ways that is better than any one of those individually. And I feel like we are moving towards that, and that's super interesting to bring in those communities who have those lessons, and then see what we can do with these kinds of tools moving forward.
I'll pass it to Nate.
Yeah, I really like the idea that of the collaboration, and for me, it's like why like if we're going to do something new, let's really use our imagination and kind of formalize this process and expand on like what we're capable of doing. I think that instead of both of you having your joining together to create a collaborative document to propose your own compromise document with all the stakeholders that voted for your proposal originally, and so on, and just explore different avenues that we can really formalize this process and create a new method for, close votes like this. Because I do think when you have a polarized community, if it's just you two in a room, that's my only concern, is that you'll come to a compromise, yet you've left out a lot of the concerns that the stakeholders that aren't in the room haven't voiced. And so I think it'd be interesting just to kind of explore that space a little bit and see what we can do in terms of like creating a new method for it. It's really exciting, and I think that we should all be really excited about doing things like this, especially when it's new. So that's my only thoughts on it. I will pass it to Mateo.
Guys, so no, I'm really impressed, and I'm kind of sad that I missed all of the previous debates, and I just could attend to this one. So congrats to this panelization. I wanted to follow what BioIB was saying and Libby, and I also want to find out what's the best solution to integrate SourceCred to this and see what's the best middle point between the subjectivity and the objective part of the praise and the impact hours given. So this week we did the first test distribution based on the SourceCred data that we have been gathered since November. So we have future on that. I'll pass it to Juanca.
Thanks, Mateo. Well, I think that DAOs are like armors, but the body and the soul are the people, And I see here that we were having like a DAO issue, but we are solving it not with technology, but with culture and with humanity. And it's not like, okay, this is what the protocol said, and we are going, we are doing what the protocol said, but rather like people is being humble to recognize the other, and in that case, dialogue can help to integrate polarities. So I also offer my help and my assistance in that dialogue, and I think it's also a really good solution to integrate and not leave anyone behind. And I will pass to Septimus.
Yeah, thank you, Juan. I joined very late, so I don't have a lot of context, but it's good to see you all happy. And I'll pass it to Nogan.
Thanks, Septi. Yes, I have to say, also very, very relieved that we are finding I think compromise is the way to find a way forward together and kind of focus on the future and grow out of the situation. I'm happy that it seems to be on the table and possible. So yeah, mainly that. I also wanted to say that I love to see how we are how everybody's face just lights up when they talk about new cool systems of how to do that, and like Sourcegrad and that we are just at the right place to do all that stuff. So it just makes me happy. And I'll pass it to Manu.
Thanks, Nuben. Yeah, I love the passion with which the ideas were expressed. I mean, you can tell that we care. It's not as much about the value or just getting the dough, the paper. It's about recognizing everyone's efforts in a way that is equitable. And yeah, it's okay, I'll pass it to Lauren.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have many words right now, but because it's like a lot of stickiness, but then also like a lot of feeling. So I think it's really awesome to hear the willingness to compromise and find solutions that are in good balance, like for taking care of the people and making a system that works. And then I also like in the passings of all the people, there's like touching on like focusing on like just the human connection at the same time as focusing on like a real solution to the problem. I think that this is like part of the values of token engineering and something that's like really holding us together. And I'll pass it to Manu, other Manu.
There can only be one.
3D. Is Parsley 3D not a Manu?
Yes, it's me. It's my first token engineering meeting, so it's been quite an interesting meeting. But nonetheless, I've been diving into this DAO culture lately, like the last week, and well, this came to show me some of my biggest doubts about how DAOs operate, and I think that what you like, how we are going through this situation, it's amazing. It's really amazing, and I would like to congratulate you all for being so civil. Really, you're developing something really hard to make. Oh, and I'll pass it to I don't know who's talked to Octopus, I guess.
Hello, everyone. I want to say thank you very much for letting me be involved. Thank you very much for letting me be involved in this. I've really enjoyed it. I feel like a high school basketball coach who got to play in the pros for a few weeks, and entire process that the entire community has acquitted itself very well. And I think that conflict may hurt, but it doesn't have to harm. And the conflict ultimately is likely to be a source of growth. So thank you.
I just want to say we are at the top of the hour and we have a community call happening now.
Okay, well then I guess it's my show. Can we just stay here? We have like full quorum, I would say. Yeah, so I don't know if someone wants to risk losing their spot to go grab David, Nate, and Eduardo and those crew. It'd be really nice.
I'll just do it. I'll close this officially as moderator and bring them in.
Thank you, Nugget. Thank you so much. Okay, so then hello community call.
Can I steal 30 seconds now?
Yeah, sure.
Can I say just 5 seconds? I just want to say how much I love and appreciate every single one of you. That's it. Thank you, Griff.
Thank